Hi everyone, I'm your instructor at Mesa College. As you know, my name is Michelle Brewster, and I wanted to give you some information by video as to how to search for articles or images. And I decided to do this because I had some questions, so I wanted to answer those through a short video. So what I'm going to do is take you to the Mesa Library online, and I'll give you a source that I think is super useful. And if you learn how to use this for this class, you can use this database for the entirety of your education. So if you're going to transfer or if you're going to maybe return to school at another time, it's always a really good database to know about. So let's go right to it. So I'm going to click on share. And then we're going to go to the library. Hold on a second. Well, hold on. Let me try that again. Here we go. Okay. So here is the Mesa College main website. In the upper right corner, you'll see it says library. So you click on that. And then you go down, scroll down to where it says research tools. And then it says A to Z databases list. Click on J for Jstor. And here you will be able to browse. You can see it says by subject or by the title if it's a particular journal or book you want to look at. If it's there's collections, if there are publishers. But I would say the easiest way to do this is to type in this search box here. You can also do an advanced search if you feel like you have more specific criteria that you can use to do your search, then I would click on advanced search. But for today, just to keep it simple, we're going to just type right in here. And I'm going to type in Mehmet II. And he is an Ottoman emperor who helped conquer Constantinople. It doesn't really matter so much for right now. But I just want you to see that there are 8,278 articles, which is too many to look through, right? Which is where that advanced search comes in. So you could put in Mehmet II and conquering Constantinople, or Mehmet II religion to learn more about his religious beliefs. Mehmet II childhood, like whatever it is that you wanted to research about him, it will bring up articles on that. So let me just use that as an example. Let's put in his childhood. And now you can see that pared it down to 800 articles. So you still want to, maybe even refine your search further, or you can start scrolling and you'll see that they're talking about the Greek scriptorium. I don't know about that myself, but this is an article on that. It tells you how many pages it is. So this is not too long, that it was published in 1983. And if you click on any of these articles, what I really like is that it will give you a quick summary of what this article is about. So let's just stick with this first one up here. I'm going to click on the article. And you have to wait for a second. It needs a second to download, as you can tell. It takes a minute. Not quite a minute, almost a minute. So it's loading. And what it's going to load is the front page, the top page of this article. And if you were to read the first page, that should be enough to tell you if this article is going to be useful to you. So if it isn't, and you can see up here it says 48 pages, but that's including the footnotes. So if you decide, nah, this is not what I want, then you can just close out and continue on your search. And you can continue to look at the search. Did I lose it? Let's see. Well, let me go back there. Wait, was this it? Nope. Okay. So let's put in Mehmet II again. So anyways, you can scroll and look through here. And then that's for the journal articles, and these are really good to use for your research. And then you can also browse the images. And these are going to be basically like museum quality. And also when you download them, they don't pixelate when you change the size in your slide presentation. And these are going to be images that you generally won't find on the internet. A lot of them are going to be just more data and information that's really not quite available online. So you're going to get better images. So you can look under, I would just leave it under art all collections. And then here, up here at the top, it says search images. So I'm going to click on Mehmet II. And let me see. Why does it look like we are not in the images? Because if we were, let's try this. We should see images when it brings up. Yes, here we go. So we did this right now. This was I did it correctly this time. So I clicked on images and it brought me here and it says there are 137 images that relate to Mehmet II. This is a very famous painting of Mehmet II done in, it says 1460 by the Italian painter Bellini. So if I think, oh, I might want to put this image in my presentation, then I can take a look at it. I can learn more information about it on the left side here. It says it's oil on canvas. It gives you a description of the painting. It tells you who the painter was. It tells you where the actual painting resides. It's at the National Gallery in London. And so if you decide you do want to use this image, you can just save it to Artstor. And you're already logged in as a user with your Mesa credentials, or you can download it to your desktop or your iPad or whatever your device you're using, and then you can have a copy of this image on your desktop. So you can tell these are beautiful museum quality images, and you'll really enjoy using them in not just for my class, but other classes too, or even your own personal things. If you're creating something or creating a website, as long as you are attributing, the origination of the image correctly, which would be Jstor, and then in this case, the National Gallery in London. So as long as you're citing, where you got your image, then you can use these as you like for really anything. So I just wanted to give you that very short rundown of what I would recommend for the best images and really the best scholarship. So when I say peer reviewed, some of you had a question about that. Peer reviewed means that experts had to vet it, they had to read it and check it and make sure that everything is accurate before it got published. So something that's published by the Smithsonian Institution or National Geographic, these kinds of publications, they're not going to risk their reputation on any author. So before they publish anything, it will go through many, many stages of review with a lot of experts checking every detail about the article to make sure everything is right, everything is authentic, everything has passed through, so many gates. And then at the end, it can be a year or years long process, then it's finally published. So that's what we mean by peer reviewed. The peers are the peers of the author or peers of the creator of the piece that are reviewing it on an expert level. So when you go into Jstor, you can be sure that you have peer-reviewed sources. And any of these images, they have made sure that they have the correct information here on the left so that you know exactly what you're using and you can get a pretty decent information about it. Okay, so the only other thing that I think I'm going to add on here is let's go to Wikipedia. Actually, let's go to Wikimedia. So if you go to Wikimedia and let's see if we can put in, no, let's just go to Wikipedia. Never mind. And I want you to stick with me if you're watching this because I want to just quickly show you how this can be useful. Let's put in Mehmet II because you could also do this. Now, it just so happens that they have brought up the same image, right? This is a very famous image. You can tell it doesn't look as good as the one that we had in JSTOR. But nevertheless, you can click on this one. And then when you click on more details, this is where you would also get your information. And you can see that it says it's the National Gallery in London. That's what Jstor said too. So it still gives you a lot of information. So this is another quick way to download an image, but you can tell, I mean, to me, this is pretty highly degraded from the image that we had in Jstor. But if you want to be quicker and you want to look on Wikipedia for your images, that's fine. But just go to the section that says more details so you can make sure this is an authentic image. And you can tell that it comes from a particular collection at the National Gallery in London. It has the same date as JSTOR. So this is pretty reliable once it makes it into this section. And so you could also um, find images this way. All right, so I think that's it for right now. And please, please always email me if you have any questions. That's why I'm doing this because I got a particular question and I wanted to answer it this way. So I will hopefully be in touch with you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.